Hello, 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 hello. Wherever you are located at on our intriguing planet called Earth, I hope you are having a blissful day, evening, or night wherever you are located. Welcome to the channel where I talk about whatever I want to talk about on this channel. I got other YouTube channels, but this one, I talk about what I please. And this is what a couple of days ago, my dear listener, I was cutting the grass. And I was talking to people about cutting the grass. I'm going to bring up some more about my discussion with other people. But the first thing we all agree, cutting the grass is a headache. You don't feel like doing it. You don't feel like getting your lawnmower. You don't feel like going hunting for the hedge trimmer. You don't feel like cutting those bushes. So you have to cut the grass and the bush. When you think about it, on your Saturday morning, you say, damn, I gotta go out there and cut the grass again. And if I'm talking about cutting grass, I live in a place at this time of year, it's seasonally, it's getting like warmer. I live on the East Coast. Preferably the Mid-Atlantic state, the state of Maryland. So now it's entering into the summertime phase where the grass grows. I don't know what it's like on the West Coast. I know since it's a nice temperature there, I think it may be seasonally grass cutting year. Who knows? But here on the West Coast, since we experience winters like October, November, December, January, February, March, grass don't grow here in the East Coast. It grows May, June, July, August, and September. Those are the time of years where we have to hunt, go into our garage, go into your basement, go in your backyard, wherever you have that lawnmower. And thankfully, I don't have the lawnmower with the crank in it. That gave me a headache just thinking about it. On those crank lawnmowers, you have to crank it until it starts. I do know lawnmowers, they're better than what they were in 1980, 1990. You probably don't have to pull a crank 1,000 times, because I do have some crank equipment, like I have a blower that's crank. I don't have to keep cranking it 20 times. I'm sure you had to do it in the past, but now the crank is a little bit more better, but I still don't like it. The lawnmower I use is powered by electricity. So when I'm cutting my lawn, I have a long cord, roughly 30 meters, and towed right behind me. It's annoying having to throw the cord around, like I was saying. When you're cutting the grass, you're thinking about, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. But I discovered myself, when you're cutting the grass, it's completely therapeutic. I've asked several people about that. They say yes. We hate waking up early Saturday morning. We hate walking outside, walking in the basement or wherever to get that lawnmower, the trimmer, or the hedger, or whatever you got. We hate doing it. But when you're cutting that grass, it's completely therapeutic. And you may be asking about, what do I mean it's therapeutic? What do I mean, how is cutting grass therapeutic? And like I said, I asked several people, and they all agree it does seem to be therapeutic. And this is what I mean that by cutting grass is therapeutic. When you're cutting grass, you're not worrying about paying your electric bill anymore, because you're just focusing on cutting that grass. You're pushing that lawnmower. You're trimming them edges up or whatever. We're not worrying about paying no electric bill. When you're cutting the grass, the argument that you may have had with your family members several minutes ago no longer exists. You may be angry when you first get there, but when you cut the grass, that anger is subsided, because cutting grass is therapeutic. When you cutting grass, you thinking about calming yourself down after that heated argument. You're thinking about, how should I have handled the situation? Should I go back and apologize? What should I do the next time so I don't have to get in a heated argument? That therapeutic thinking occurs because now we're mowing the grass, cutting out, trimming the grass, whatever. Also, like I said, you no longer worry about paying your BGE bills. You no longer worry about that argument you have with your family member. You're not worrying about anything when you're cutting grass. All you're thinking about is just cutting grass. You're not worrying about that fine young lady who you met several days ago. You're not worrying about getting the number of that guy who you think is fine, who you met several days ago. When, I can say this to you, when you're cutting the grass, not only is it therapeutic, you almost become asexual. You don't think about sex. You're not worrying about who you're going to hook up with later on. When you're cutting that grass, in addition to it's therapeutic, you almost become asexual. You're nice and calm. You're not stimulated. You're not worrying about what you're going to do with so-and-so and so-and-so. All because you cut that grass, which is calming you down, making you not worrying about anything. So, in hindsight, before I go, and like I told you all, I asked my neighbor, I asked people who are like my relatives, and they all agreed. When you're cutting your lawn, you don't worry about anything. You don't worry about putting gas in your car. Not at that moment, because you're not driving a car anyway. You're not worrying about fixing your car, even though it may annoy you after you're done. But in that 30 minutes that you're cutting that grass, it's almost like you in heaven almost. Everything is peaceful. You are peaceful. You're not upset. You're not grouchy. You're not angry. Because you're cutting the grass. If you like my comment about how therapeutic grass cutting is, leave a thumb up. If you happen to have some insights, whether you agree or disagree on the therapeutic nature of cutting grass, I welcome your comment. If you would like to subscribe to hear me talk about future events on this particular channel that I have, where I talk about whatever I find interesting, I welcome you to subscribe to the channel. Before I leave, wherever you are on the planet, whether you are in the United States, whether you live on the East Coast, where I live at and it's getting warmer, whether you live on the West Coast where it's always warm, or you live in one of those states in between. Yeah, I think if you're in between, you're going to experience summertime just like me. Whatever, regardless, I hope you enjoy your time cutting that grass. I hope you do like I do. I try to go out there at least every 2 weeks before, because I admit, when you cut it once a month, it's aggravating, because the grass be almost at your knees. So I hope wherever you are, you do what I do. Every 2 weeks, I go out there and cut my grass. And since my yard has a nice little size to it, I have grass in the front of my house and in the back of my house. I divvy it up the way I used to write my papers when I was in college. I may do if I had to write a thesis, 100 pages, I may do 5 pages a day. That's the way I cut my yard. One day, I do the front yard. The next day, I do the backyard. Then the day after that, I trim my hedges. So I make cutting my lawn almost therapeutic. In hindsight, you like my comment about the therapeutic nature of cutting grass. Give me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment and subscribe. Till the next time, dear listener, peace.